Hello everyone. I hope all of you are doing good, guys. Today, here again to share what is happening. It's like for many years I've not been watching what is happening in Sudan. I don't know, for some reason. The beginning of this week I felt like, well, let me see, come. I didn't know there's been war fighting Sudan last week. Can you imagine? This is a nation that has been fighting, that has rendered many of its citizens to be wakimbizi, to be a refugees, to be a runner. That name by itself is not good. Though we are all on this world refuge, but to physically displaced from your country, live in other place, in other countries, it is not a nice thing. It's not a nice name. Sudanese have been called different names. Sudanese people have suffered. You cannot, in other countries that have been in Africa, you cannot freely move. You have to pay your ways. It has been a tedious and a very difficult survival for these many decades. And to see this war still continuing, and it's a tribal wars, I think enough is enough. The word of God tells us opposite of what the government of Sudan is doing. If war would have bring peace to Sudan, Sudan would be the most peaceful nation in the world. Because if I see in earlier on, God warned them about an alliance, forming alliance, because God wanted all the nations of the earth to only rely on Him, trust God for everything. Whether be it sickness, whether be it an enemy from another country try to fight them, like that country was to rely totally on God. Like some of these things I'm saying, because the prophecy is being fulfilled, you find those messages, you cannot find them no longer. If you were reading 30, 20 years ago, you were reading the Bible, now you cannot find what you used to read, because this is a prophecy that is being fulfilled. God, because Sudan is one of the countries that allies. I think they allies with the Syria. The Assyrian were the strongest nation that time, in the olden time of Isaiah. So this other nation asked Sudan to ally with them so they can fight Assyrians. I don't remember what nation it was. That Syria was to ally with the Sudanese to fight, and Sudan has been known for fighting from the very beginning. So they allied with the Assyria to fight with Syria to fight the Assyrians. But because they did what God didn't want them to do, they were defeated. Even a land standard were removed from their feet, a sign of humiliation, a sign of defeat. They go against God. Because of that, Sudan has been, in the old Bible, you will see that it is written, God will punish Sudan. Why? The reason for forming allies. But these very words are removed from the Bible because this world where we're living in, everywhere is allies, allies, allies. Allies is a plan of Satan, not God's plan. God wants the whole nation to trust in Him, not to ally, trust in Him. If you ally to another nation, you trust that nation in you. So all these other words, maybe I can't go in detail, but it has been removed. Or maybe the prophecy is being fulfilled. You cannot find these words for those who are reading Bibles 20 plus years ago. So Sudan was pronounced punishment. God will judge Sudan. God will punish. So this is the era where Sudan is living in. You see, how many years of bloodshed? This started. I heard this war from the book, from the storybook in school. All the series of wars that Sudan has been going through. Since you got independent from British, now which one are you fighting? You say you're fighting your enemies. How can your neighbor become your enemy? Even God said, love your enemies. And Sudanese are fighting their own brothers. Even they look like Nuer and Dinka. Tell me what's the difference? Even not only the cuts they make. They probably draw water from the same well. They probably graze animals in the same areas. How do you fight? The Bible says, love your enemies as you love yourself. You're fighting your enemies. Tell me, how do you love yourself? You're fighting your own brother. Even your language is opposite each other. Some of the words are just, you can understand each other. How you fight your own brother? How it is right. Everybody disagree. In the family, everybody disagree. Every disagreement has to end to bloodshed. I know politically they say war is another one way of seeking peace. But if this war, if fighting would bring peace, Sudan would be number one in peacekeeping or in peace reigning country. Why is it not happening? The Bible tells us that until Sudan come and submit itself to God, this will continue to happen. This fighting will continue. You trust in your own power. You rely on other power. You using the gun you did not make. How shameful, humiliating. Your nation is being fed by the people all over the world. This help that goes in form of aid to the refugee. Where is it coming from? Yes, Sudan is a fertile land, very able to feed its own citizen. But what time? For the farmers to farm. What times? For the harvest, for the weeding. The landmines are planted everywhere. Even up to now, I believe people who are going to the farm, they don't just go anyhow. You know you will either come home alive or no. Until when is this war going to last? Yeah, the whole of you are fighting. You are not... you are not Israelites. That is to fight until Jesus come back. Jesus' second return. So which one are you? You don't want to commit to God. It's a time I'm calling Sudanese submit to God. Here in First Psalm, in the book of Psalm 68, verse 31 says, from beyond the rivers of Cush, my worshippers, my scattered people will bring me offerings. From beyond the rivers of Cush, my worshippers will bring me offerings. The offerings that God wants you to bring, Sudanese, Southern Sudanese, if you are fighting, what time will we have to bring God the offerings? The offering of praise, of worship. When? The nation is all the time fighting. People are afraid to live in Sudan. People are living one leg in Sudan, one leg outside Sudan. You are meant to bring glory to God on Mount Zion. To bring praise. Not to bring sorrow, not to bring sadness, not to bring burden. Now what Sudan is bringing in the world is burden. What you're bringing in Mount Zion is bloodshed. What does it say? Let's look at Isaiah chapter 18. What does Isaiah 18 say? Isaiah 18. So Isaiah 18, I'm just going to read from verse 7. Verse 7 to... Yeah, I'm just going to read verse 7 for the beginning. It is said, at that time, gifts will be brought to the Lord Almighty from a people tall and smooth skin, from a people feared from a people feared far and wide. an aggressive nation of strange speech, whose land is divided by rivers. You are meant to bring offerings to God. You are meant to bring gifts to the Almighty on Mount Zion. The people of Cush, tall, dark, smooth skin, brave, strong. But now you're bringing bloodshed, you're bringing division, you're bringing tribal and barbaric war. You're bringing undevelopment, you're bringing hunger, you're bringing suffering to the people of Sudan. And what is God receiving? It's not sadness. Are you making God happy? You want to do the opposite. Bring gifts. Until Southern Sudan submit to God, there is not going to be peace. It's a time you need to hear, wake up, hear what I'm saying, wake up, submit to God. Turn to God for peace to reign in Southern Sudan. This of your warfare, this of your bullet, this of your gun, that you sell the natural resources of Sudan, the oil and all of that, to get this gun. It will never work. It will never work. Oh. You hear me now or you hear later, it is up to you. God has said, when God said nobody can change a thing. See what I'm talking about, the suffering that you bring to the people of Sudan.
News. According to the information, South Sudanese Defense Force SSPDF fighter caught in Blue Nile conflict. A report from the Blue Nile region of Sudan indicates that over 500 members of the South Sudan People Defense Force Army have been caught in the ongoing conflict. Sudanese Army Force and other factions continue to engage in intense fighting in the region.
اسمع قول بل انا جيت في انت في الجنوب وين اسمعني الغايد هوي انا جاي في قلت لك الغايد اللي قتلنا ده رتبه شنو قاي خبير جبنا ده هاي الليوه صح ليوه ايوه كويس دي عصابه ده ما بتاع الليوه هذه حق شنو انا بوريك صح انت ابوي دار تقريبا كان سالني انا بوريك حاجه ده ما بتاع اليوم ده بتاع واد عميد دي حاجه العميد معناها ده العميد المال عميد الاسرى كانوا معنا جوا ده القبيل لقينا هنا ايوه لقينا هنا ده عميد ده خلاص ده رحمه الله دخشه ده انضرب ده اللي انضرب العميد رحمه الله دخشه خلاص والله الله ينبطنا ده نام بس نام بس والله تنبل زي ده بس اسمك منى اخويا اسمك منى اسمك تومس تابع لي تقوين لا ارفع صوتك تابع لي قوتك شنو
انا موزن العسكريه العساكر دي اللي جينا هنا في
العساكر جو من وين؟
جو من بقاق هناك
جو من بقاق؟ عساكر تابعين لها دولة شمال السودان ولا جنوب السودان؟
جنوب السودان
تابعين لجنوب السودان؟
الجنوبيين
طيب قبل كم يوم كان في ناس مش يسلحوكم هناك صح؟
في العساكر دي؟
في ناس في سلاح مرق من النيل الازرق هناك مشي ولا مشي؟
ايوه عيسى انا سميته سلاح في البيروت
والقوة جاية ماشية وين؟
قال ماشي البوس
ماشي البوس؟ ماشي بوط ماشي بوط القوة كم؟
400
نفر؟
ايوه
متأكد منها انت؟
I say how many are killed? 400 Oromia. Nowhere people. Oromia 400 soldiers. Nowhere soldiers killed in the Blue Nile. How is this a joy? Is it unhappiness? I don't know. This is what is happening. But God wanted the Sudanese to bring gifts. People far from tall, from far. from the land of Cush, people tall, smooth skin. They'll bring gifts to God. Now the enemy, Satan, make these people Southern Sudan just to think, to hate their own brothers, to hate their own neighbors. Even God said, love your enemies. Jesus said, love your enemies as you love yourself. Where is the love? All the enemy has put hatred. If you hate your brother, you hate your neighbors, your people from your same geographical location, and you expect the world to hear you, to love you. If you hate those people who are closer to you, that you go to draw water to bathe in the same river with them, how is it a good war? How is it a solution? Why the solution has not come? All this fighting we've been fighting. It is a time for Sudan to wake up to, first of all, recognize, be ashamed of what you're doing. It is not something to make anybody happy. It is not to make somebody smile. And there's nothing you say, this is not like, oh, I'm fighting a good fight. This is not a good fight. This is a wasted fight, a wasted money, a wasted natural resources, a wasted generation. It's just a waste of time. What you're fighting, you think you bring peace. Let's see, where is the peace? You're going to fight until the end of your world. So I'm tired. The world is tired. I don't see anybody. In fact, again, this is what, when the Sudan news come about war, this is what goes in people's heart and mind. Again, another war in South Sudan. You mean you cannot? Yeah, what should make you people of the same area have to be hating? Sudan has 68 tribes in counting, and you are fighting. The two tribes only has to bring problem always. Maybe Sudan has to be divided into another two. You know, we get Equatorial this way. The rest, if those who want to fight, they join the Upper Nile there. Because this one is too much. You know. All the time bloodshed. Let me see what I have here again. Okay. This one here, this one was 1 day ago. Over 400 South Sudanese were white and fire killed.
These white army fighters caught in the Blue Nile conflict. Reports emerging from the Blue Nile region of Sudan indicate that over 500 members of South Sudan's White Army have been caught in the ongoing conflict in northern Sudan. The White Army, a loosely organized militia of armed youth, is known for its involvement in past conflicts within South Sudan.
أنا مواطن ما مسكني ولا بسوق كاكله ولا أنا جيل من هنا من كوز الربع حق كده الربع شنو ما عنده قبل ما مسكني هنا ودينا هناك في ناس ضم بيجي بيطلعوا كاب بكل واحد بيكون دينين كاب ولا شنو ربع ليوه صح أسمع قول بل أنا جيت في أنت في الجنوب وين؟ اسمعني الغاية توي أنا جاي في هنا قلت لك الغاية ده لسه كتلنا ضروب بك شنو؟ غاية خبير الجملة ده؟ هاي الليوة صح؟ ليوة أيوة كويس دي عصابة دي غاية ده ما بتاع ليوة هذه حق شنو؟ أنا بوريك صح؟ أنت أبوي دار تقريبا أنا سألني أنا بوريك حاجة ده ما بتاع ليوة ده بتاع واد عميد دي حقة العميد معناها هذا العميد المال عميد الأسرة كمان معنا جوا ده القبيل لقينا هنا أيوة لقينا هنا ده عميد ده خلاص ده رحمة الله تخشى ده رحمة
Where are you from?
I'm from South Sudan.
In what year did Sudan split into two countries, thereby forming South Sudan?
2011.
The Second Sudanese Civil War was Africa's longest running civil war. How long did it last?
Honestly, I don't know.
22 years. True or false, the longest river in the world, the River Nile, runs through South Sudan?
True.
True or false, there are over 60 ethnic groups in South Sudan?
64. That is true.
What languages do you speak in South Sudan?
The first one is Arabic. We have Nuer. We have Dinka. I think Chiluk.
What's going on in South South Sudan right now?
Continue conflict from the last war that we had. After the war stopped, we don't have that peace. So the conflict continues in the government between, let me say, politicians and...
Tell me something most people don't know about South Sudan.
We're the world youngest nation that got their independence in 2011. A man can marry like more than 5 wives, and our women also, like, their bride price is from 300 to 1,000 cows. They paid our women bride price according to how tall they are.
Very barbaric. You gotta stop this war. Time to go, submit to God. The leaders should submit to God. The nation, Sudanese, need to go in prayer so that the Southern Sudanese people can submit to God. That's all. Without that one, this war will continue. That's what God said always has to come through. You accept it now or accept it later, it will be a waste of time. And those who are going to develop that, your development will be all destroyed every time. So know that in your mind, when you're going to develop that, develop at your own risk and don't complain to nobody. Because there's nothing good coming from Sudan until they submit to God. Anyway, have a blessed day. May God bless those who will take initiative to pray. In Jesus' name, amen.